Hello everyone and welcome to Sea Smoke. Katie here. Happy holidays. Today we're having a Grinch themed dinner. So I'm going to show you how to make a Whoville dessert. So we're going to make Who pudding today to go with our Grinch themed dinner we're having tonight. First we're going to bake cake because it is a cake based dessert. It calls for a white cake mix because we are going to dye the cake, which it calls in the recipe for 2 cakes, but I don't believe my family would eat that much cake, so I'm not going to do 2 cake mixes. I'm going to just do one and split the cake mix in half when I go to dye it. So we're going to follow the directions per, the cake mix box to bake the cake and everything, as you would do normally. So I have one white cake mix here, because like I said, we are going to try to dye this. And I have a half a cup of oil here, which it looks like I've spilt some. Yay! Good job for me. Alright, and we need 3 eggs. And I let my eggs sit out at room temperature. It helps it in the baking process. So, and I have some nice farm fresh eggs that was given to me, so I'm going to use those. There's 1 egg. There's 2 eggs. And here is 3 eggs. So we're just going to mix like you normally would, like I said, per the box instructions. Almost forgot. I gotta have a cup of water. And I'm going to just shove this down some so I can make sure all my cake mix is getting mixed together and not all the powder just sitting on the side. Okay everyone, my cake mix is through mixing, and I'm dividing this up in just a minute so we can put the food color in it so we can dye it the 2 colors I need for the Who pudding. And like I said, I'm just using 1 cake mix, so I'm going to try to divide it as evenly as I possibly can, because like I said, I don't believe my family will need that much cake in what I'm doing, so I'm just going to use 1. And not 2. So I've got another little bowl right here, and we're going to try to put a little bit in this one. I don't know, that looks pretty good. That's probably enough of both of them and both of this. Okay, and we're supposed to have 1 that looks red and 1 that looks pink. So I have some jelly food coloring and some regular liquid food color, but you can use any kind you like or any brand. Obviously I just got overexcited when I went to the store to buy food coloring and just went to town on buying some. And I'm going to dye this one pink, which this says is neon pink, which is perfect because that's what we need it to be, is neon pink. And I'm not really sure about how much I need, but we'll squeeze a little bit and see how we do, and then we'll add more if we need to see if that's the color we want. Ooh, boy, that is neon. Ooh, look at that. That looks like an Easter egg. Make sure got it all on the bottom, too. Okay, I definitely put enough of that one in there. Alright, let's close that one up before we get it somewhere. Alright, and we're going to now do the red one. So we're getting out the red food dye. Ooh. Think I was trying to kill somebody. Good, I was talking about some blood splatter. Alright. And let's see if this one's going to be red or if it's going to be too pink. We're a little pink. I might put just a little bit more in there. I'm assuming we needed to have it kind of look, maybe not as dark as the shade of red velvet, but, you know, red. Kind of a Christmassy red, I would say. So I'm going to squirt a little bit more in there. Did y'all see something? I'm going to do it just a little bit darker. I think that's dark enough, but it looks a little red. Okay, so now I'm going to put my 2 cake colors in my spray pan so we can bake the cake, because we are going to bake the cake like normal. So I'm going to put my red side in first. And now we're going to do the pink one on this side over here. And of course, if you do want to do 2 cake mixes and do 2 different pans, then by all means go ahead, you know. Whatever's easy for you to do. Alright. So, I'm going to shake this out. Try to make sure everything's evenly dispersed and I get all the bubbles out of it. And we're going to bake our cake just like normal. It should take maybe 20-25 minutes at the most at 350, but you want to make sure you can insert a toothpick in there and it comes out clean to let you know your cake's done. So we're going to stick our 2-tone cake in the oven and let it bake, and then we're going to check back on it in just a little bit. Okay everyone, we had to take our cake out because it is done. As you see, we have a red side and a pink side. We did put a toothpick in it and it did come out clean. So we're going to leave it sitting there on the rack and let it cool, because it's going to have to be completely cool for us to, you know, put the pudding on it and the frosting and everything. So we're going to let that hang out a while and cool off, and then we'll start assembling our Who pudding cake. Okay, now we're going to make the pudding part of our Who pudding. I have 1 block of 8-ounce cream cheese right here, and we need 1 container of Cool Whip. Now this calls for unprepared pudding, but my little grocery helper couldn't find a box of instant pudding that wasn't already prepared and just got me a regular already made pudding. So we're still going to try to give this a whirl with pre-made pudding. So we're going to start with one. And this is just already pre-made vanilla pudding. And I'll make sure I'll put the original recipe without the pre-made pudding in the description. But I'm just going to start off with 1 cup of this. Just to see how it goes before I start adding more of it in there to make the pudding part of our poo pudding cake. Alright. But I think I'm going to put another one in there because they don't look like it's doing a lot of vanilla in there. That's supposed to be in there. And it's supposed to be just light and fluffy when it's done. Because this is like a what you would call a truffle or like a parfait when you're going to put it together. So I'm going to add another pudding cup in there just to make sure I've got enough vanilla in there also. And just a helpful tip, I let my, like I said, I let my eggs get to room temp before I went to use them in my cake to help with incorporating the baking process. I also did the same thing to my cream cheese so it would be nice and soft when we got ready to mix it together with our items in here. And it's still getting pretty fluffy like it's supposed to be, even with the pre-made pudding in here. Yay. So I'm going to scoop this down, scrape the sides as you would say, just to make sure it's all incorporated in there correctly. And then we'll let it go just a few seconds more. Now I'm going to check to see if it tastes enough like vanilla like I want. Let me get a different spoon because that one already has vanilla pudding on there. And I'm afraid I'll be like, oh yeah, it tastes like enough vanilla on it, and I've already got pudding on it. Oh, eeny, meeny, miny, moe, I need a spoon. There we go. Kind of still just tastes like Cool Whip, so I think we need to add 1 more box of pudding in there and then just fluff it up a little bit more. And then I think we'll be good. That way I can make sure I get enough of the vanilla flavor to go into the pudding. I'm going to add 1 more prepared plastic cup. And if you do end up doing it like I did, then, you know, use whatever prepared pudding you like. But it is still coming out as a fluffy consistency like it's supposed to for the pudding part of the cake. Alright, and it looks all good and fluffy to me, like it should be. So I'm going to take this out of this mixing bowl, and I'm going to put it in this other bowl until I get ready to add it to my cake. And you just want to make sure you don't have any lumps or anything in there from your cream cheese and things like that whenever you're making it. Okay, that takes care of that part. Now I'm going to wash up my bowl real quick, and then we will make the frosting part of this. Okay, now I've got everything cleaned up again. Now we're going to make our frosting. Now, the frosting does call for vanilla pudding mix that's unprepared to make the frosting with. And like I said, I don't have any vanilla, and my little shopper helper didn't get me vanilla. But I did have a package of chocolate pudding that's unprepared. So I am going to use that instead. So we have 1/3 of a cup of the instant chocolate pudding powder. We have a 1/2 cup here of powdered sugar. And we have a whole 16 fluid ounces of heavy whipping cream, because you need 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. So I'm going to use this whole carton of this in here. To make my frosting. So instead of vanilla frosting, we're going to make chocolate frosting because I have chocolate pudding. Alright, so we're going to take this in here and we're going to whip this. And this will take a couple of minutes to whip, because heavy whipping cream does take a couple of minutes to come together to, you know, make the fluffy part of the whipped cream part. Alright, and now our frosting is done. As you see, it's nice and thick and fluffy like it's supposed to be. Okay. I'm just going to check this. That's really good. And it actually kind of reminds me of like the whipped cream icing you get in the grocery store. But as you can see, it's nice and thick and fluffy and everything. And that's our frosting that's going to go on the top of our Who pudding cake. Okay, our cake is now done. It's finished cooling. We've cut our little squares up. Now we're ready to put our Who pudding together. You can get a trifle bowl if you have one or anything like that. I just got a regular bowl that we're going to fill ours in and do it with. So now we're going to put our Who pudding together. So put the cake in the bowl. Okay, and now we got our homemade Who pudding we made. So now we're going to fill that in. Already. Alright, now we're going to put our chocolate frosting on there. We're not cutting them up.
I'm thinking on it.
Okay, and we're just going to keep stacking and layering until we get to the top. Okay, our Who pudding is complete. We hope this was a fun holiday dessert treat to make. Now don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Hey, who ate my pudding?